One of the things I have learned over the past month is that it's not enough to record videos of things you do in your van. You really need to have a narrative. As I see other people's videos, they're not just showing content, they're not showing videos of things that they've seen, places that they've gone or whatever. They are telling stories and narratives, and that's really something that you need to do. You need to have that in mind before you start, which I haven't been doing lately. And so on this video, I'm gonna share a few shorter stories with you and kind of lump a bunch of extra footage that I've taken over the past few weeks together. And we're gonna start with some footage that I shot when my wife and I went to go see the eclipse. We drove all the way out to a nice little town called Ozark, Arkansas, to see the eclipse in all its totality. So check this out. Street. After having our Airbnb in Austin canceled on us, we decided to drive to Russellville, Arkansas to see the eclipse. But on our way there, we saw a sign in Ozark, Arkansas advertising their downtown Eclipse Festival, so we called an audible and decided to stop there instead. According to Wikipedia, the population of Ozark, Arkansas is right around 3,500 people. We arrived in town right as the festival was starting, and I won't lie, we were a little worried that we might have made the wrong decision. We were able to park on Main Street directly across from the festival and were worried that the whole thing might have been a bust. However, before long, a few more people began to show up. Does this Bigfoot sign look like a bust? I don't think so.
Well, good morning and welcome to downtown Ozark. I can't thank you all enough, the vendors, our entertainers. Guys, it's going to be a great historical day here in Ozark. Thank you for coming. We do have some of our businesses that have opened today that are not normally open on Monday. So after you finish here at the square, stop by and visit with them.
If there's one thing that'll get people out of their houses and down to a Main Street festival, it's the arrival of live music.
You give your hand to me, and then you say hello. I can't hardly speak, my heart is beating so, and anyone can tell.
When we arrived in Ozark, we had a donut and some coffee at Daylight Donuts, and when we heard that a local youth group would be selling hot dogs, hamburgers, and ice-cold Dr. Peppers here for lunch as a fundraiser, we went back a few hours later again.
Dogs, hamburgers! Come and get you an ice-cold Dr. Pepper!
Oh, look at that. Woo! After chowing down, we returned to the festival, and it was really starting to fill up. We just missed the cornhole tournament. These dogs seemed like they were having a good time. This booth was popular all day, and we could not really figure out why people were dancing in it. We decided to try it anyway. Starting to get darker?
It is. It's yellow.
All of a sudden, people began to notice that things were starting to look a little weird.
Yeah,
shadows were starting to change, and things started looking a little hazy and a little yellow for some reason. Half an hour before scheduled totality, people began moving into the street, making sure they had a front row view of the sun, which is about 93 million miles away. Leading up to the eclipse, lots of businesses and individuals were selling eclipse glasses, but the city of Ozark was giving them away by the handful. Anyone who wanted a pair got one. We ended up with several pairs. One problem with the iPhone's camera is it's a little too good when it comes to adjusting to low light situations. Based on this view, you can barely tell anything was happening, but the GoPro told a different story. With each minute that passed by, it got a little darker until finally we saw this. I'm not gonna lie, this was a super weird experience. Not just seeing the eclipse, which in itself is a unique experience, but standing in a crowd of several thousand people just staring up at the sky, all in silence. You can see how ancient civilizations might have found these terrifying. The minute the eclipse ended and it started to get light again, people unfroze, and we, like hundreds of other people in Ozark, Arkansas, made a run to our car in an attempt to beat the traffic. We are not going to wait for the next eclipse to visit Ozark, Arkansas again. It was a cute little town with lots of stores to explore, and we are looking forward to stopping there again the next time we're in town. That was really something to behold. Another thing that I did recently in my van was go to the mall and pick up my glasses. I have a set of Meta smart glasses and I had to get the lenses replaced, and I did not know that that was going to lead to a meeting with security. So check this out. Well, good morning. Today in BigRobsVan is a day of many errands. So my wife is out of town and I have a lot of things to do. I want to go to the park today. I want to go to the lake today. I want to go walking on this walking trail that's near me. I've got a lot of different things. I might go to some antique shops, but one of the things I need to do right now is go to the mall and pick up my lenses for my Meta Ray-Ban glasses. It's been a while since I've been to the mall, and it's been a long time since I went on a Saturday. The rumor that malls are dying, or at least Quail Springs Mall in Oklahoma City, are greatly exaggerated. I had to park so far away from an entrance that I actually considered coming back on a different day, and maybe I should have. Unfortunately for me, my glasses weren't quite ready, so after walking around the mall a little bit, I ended up in the food court to get some lunch. I took this picture of my lunch to send to my wife, and 30 seconds later, I was approached by security because, well, let me explain. So I was just in the food court in the mall waiting to pick up my glasses, and I wanted to show my wife where I was, so I took a picture of the food court and texted it to her. I was immediately approached by security who said they just wanted to friendly remind me that it is not allowed to take photographs inside the mall. And I asked him if he was pulling my leg, and he said no. And then we looked at each other for a minute, and then I said, you know, when I got married, you weren't allowed to take pictures in casinos, but taking pictures in the mall was just fine. And it's funny how things have swapped. So I'm waiting outside here now, waiting for my lenses to be ready. So security, so the man doesn't chase me down. I don't know. After going back inside to get my glasses, I quickly left and of course got stuck behind a security vehicle. While I was busy laughing at the fact that they had just run a stop sign and filming them to be a smart aleck, I turned too sharp and jumped a curb. I heard everything in the back of my van bounce and Good news, pretty much everything I've built so far immediately fell apart. The first thing I saw was the leg on my bed, which I haven't even really figured out what happened. Either the wood on the corner broke or it literally broke the screws that was holding things in. This should be an easy fix. The next day, I noticed that both the front trim and the side trim had fallen off of my storage cabinet, so I had to fix those things too. I'm about to rip most of this interior out and start over, but for right now, a few more screws should hold everything in place. One of the things I have been doing quite a bit lately is visiting lakes in my van. There are 2 local lakes. I visited both of those and a third recently. And I had a great time checking things out at the lakes. I want to show you some footage of that. And then I want to show you a giant storm that I ran into while I was hanging out at the lake. While my wife's been out of town, I've been spending my afternoons after work and weekends hanging out at some of our local lakes. I love driving around the lake and looking for the perfect spot to park at. My favorite thing to do is pull up right next to the lake with my sliding door open and then just hang out and read or play on my phone while enjoying the view. By the way, no matter how close you try to park to the water, someone will find a way to walk between your van and the water. It has happened every single time. Now, last weekend, I was hanging out at the lake and noticed that the wind had really picked up. These ducks noticed it too. Again, this isn't the ocean. This is a relatively small lake in the middle of the city. As the winds continued to pick up, I did what any sane person would do. I pulled a bit further down the lake, parked, and decided to take a nap. Then I woke up to this. Okay, this isn't good. Let me just see that. I just kind of got caught up in a big storm here. Tell it's kind of coming down. You ever have that moment when you're like, I should have left a few minutes ago, but I didn't? Yeah, I should have left a few minutes ago, but I didn't. Shit. Yeah, here it comes. This is bad. Driving in where there's a tornado. That's stupid. Why did I do that? Look at the tree. Some waves on the lake today. Oh boy. That moment when you realize you should have left 5 minutes ago before the storm got there. Yeah. You should have left 5 minutes ago. The other thing I noticed is that everyone else had already left. When I looked at my phone, I saw that we were in a potential tornado warning area. So I'm a little embarrassed that my first instinct was to pack up and immediately drive home. And it's moments like this where I think about what it must be like to not have a home to go back to live in the van full time. I am embarrassed that my instinct was to run, was to go back home. And so for so many people, there is no home to go to. This is their home. And it really made me think about that on my way back to the house.
It looks like what would be, again, a lower end tornado, not a violent tornado, but a lower end tornado. Nonetheless, crossing South Anderson, going to East Reno Avenue. This is going to be the tornado here. And right here, that
And
is,
it looks like it's heading, to me, more easterly.
it is.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you like these types of things, you want to be notified when I do other ones, click like. You can subscribe down there. Don't forget, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Rob O'Haron. You can join my pit crew over at patreon.com/BigRobsVan. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I'm going to watch these waves for a little bit longer, and then I think I'm going to head over to this park across the street and go try to catch me a few more Pokemon. See you next time.